Hello and welcome to another edition of the UK and Ireland Minnesota Vikings Fan Club podcast. I'm your host tonight, co-president Mr. Reece Field, and I feel like the other two have bailed on hosting because we could be heading for a lot of confusion because I'm joined by John and John, or for the sake of this podcast, Jonathan and John. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello, gentlemen.
Well, Jonathan, this is your first time joining the show as a member of as a fan and a member of the club committee. Why don't you tell everyone a little bit about what you do in the club?
Yeah, so about 6, 7 weeks ago, I put my name forward to be part of the content team. So you're going to see more from me on the content or content wise. So more skulls from the sofa, some new ideas potentially coming. So yeah, just taking a more bigger part as part of the team.
And I guess every time we have someone on for the first time, we have to ask three questions. And the first question, Jonathan, is why the Vikings?
Unfortunately, I didn't really have a decision to make. So my mum's from Minnesota. She's been a Vikings fan her whole life. So yeah, she brought me up well. There was a time when did the rebellious thing, supported the Cowboys for a little bit, and it's probably between 8 and 10. But otherwise, no, fully the Vikings. Didn't really have much choice, and yeah, thoroughly love it.
Say the Cowboy. What a week to have you on. Split allegiances, I'm sure, this week.
Definitely not.
Not at all. So, Jonathan, who's your favourite current Vikings player?
My favorite current player, everyone loves Jefferson, but for me, I'd have to go with Gink. Just an amazing gadget tool. You can pop up anywhere on the field, wreak havoc just like he did yesterday, and everyone loves a pick six. Yesterday just a pick, but everyone loves a player that just can cause absolute damage. Really just destroy any running game or quick passing game and can make any quarterback look stupid. So yeah, he's probably my favorite current player.
Yeah, there's no reason quarterback should throw to his side anymore on screens, considering what he's done all too often. And had that happen 20 yards further up the pitch or back down the pitch, whatever way you want to look at it, that was a pick six coming. Favorite all-time player, Jonathan?
I'd probably say if we're talking simply on the field, it'd have to be Adrian Peterson. There were some really dark days, I'd say, at the beginning of my NFL fandom where, you just see AP run for 300 yards and whoever was behind him at quarterback would try and drive the ship as best as possible. It didn't usually go too well, but, you'd usually find ourselves having a half-decent season purely just because we had the best non-quarterback in the league. So I'd probably say Adrian Peterson.
I can get behind that answer being that Adrian Peterson is the reason I'm a Vikings fan. So more than happy to agree with you on that one. A great choice as a favourite all-time Viking. John, you had some adventures this weekend. You were at the London meet. How did that go down?
Yeah, it went surprisingly well. Yeah, we had a few people turn up. I mean, obviously, it's getting near Christmas now, so and we've been on a bit of a losing streak at the moment, so wasn't the greatest turnout. But those that did turn up definitely enjoyed ourselves.
Yeah, it seems to be those meetups where it's just you and not me that just turn into massive blowouts. So kind of jealous, but maybe maybe it was a good omen I wasn't there this week.
Well,
Jonathan, are you,
it's only our second game on the zone exclusive this week, wasn't it? And our first game was the Bengals game. So the
yeah.
zone, make them the zone exclusive all next season, and we're going to the Super Bowl.
No, I don't have that money. Not anymore. Jonathan, of course, you've been to a meet for us before. I think you were at the Colts. Was it Colts meet a few years ago?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, it was the first meet I went to, and yeah, I'll be coming to a few next year as well. But no, yeah, I think the Colts meet was almost. It was almost at both sides. How bad. When the team's playing badly, how the morale gets quite low, and then when we come back and win, it's the euphoria is especially in that game. I know context and all that, but when you're there in the moment, doesn't matter what team you beat. You could beat the worst team or the best team in the league. If you're watching it with fellow Vikings fans, there's nothing better, is there? So yeah, it was a great moment.
Exactly. I guess we've mentioned the Colts, we've mentioned the Bengals, we've mentioned the Cowboys now as well. So I guess, Jonathan, it's probably the best time for you to take us around the league and the results that took place over the weekend.
Yep. So Thursday night football was the Cowboys at the Detroit Lions. The Cowboys lost 30 points to 44. For the 6 o'clock slate on Sunday, you had the Seattle Seahawks against the Atlanta Falcons. Seattle ran away with that one, 37 points to 9. Pittsburgh at Baltimore was 27-22 to Pittsburgh. Tennessee Titans won a close one against Cleveland Browns, 31 points to 29. Indianapolis Colts lost 36 points to 19 against the Jaguars. Obviously, we blew out the Commanders 31-0. You had the Dolphins beating the New York Jets 34-10. The New Orleans Saints upsetting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 24-20. And then probably the game of the slate, the Cincinnati Bengals against the Buffalo Bills, with Buffalo winning 39-34. And then you had the later slate, the 9 o'clock games, Denver against Las Vegas. Denver coming out 24-17 winners. Then you had Chicago at Green Bay. Green Bay winning 28-21. And then you had the Raiders against the Arizona Cardinals. Sorry, the Rams against the Arizona Cardinals. Rams winning 45-17. Sunday night football was Houston at KC. Houston winning 20-10. And Monday night football tonight is, would have happened already, but
do we have to sing, John? or have your oracle moment, Jonathan? Let's see.
Philadelphia against Los Angeles Chargers.
What's the score going to be?
I think Chargers might win that one. Don't know. I think their running game could wreak some havoc there. And we don't really know what we're getting from the Eagles passing game, do we? Could be a good game like it was against us, or could be a game like it was against the Packers. So
yeah, the Chargers having rotten luck of injuries this season, but I think Hampton, the rookie running back, I believe he's back now. I think Justin Herbert also escaped any major injury scares, so maybe things looking on the up for the Chargers, because I like the Chargers. No one supports them, so we kind of have to like them a little bit as a second team. But yeah, that is I mean, the league is still completely unpredictable. When you said the Raiders put up 45 points, I wouldn't write it off this season, even though they've been absolutely awful. But I guess if we come back to our blowout victory over the Washington Commanders, John, what is your knee-jerk reaction to that game?
My knee-jerk reaction is this should have been week 1. This should have been exactly what we should have been doing since week 1. I came into the season saying the best tool for a rookie quarterback is his running backs and his tight ends. And that's exactly what we used last night. It doesn't take a genius to work it out. That's why it worked so well last night. And because we played so well on offense, the defense could rest and I could actually play well. It's amazing how much everything slips into place when you actually do play to your strengths. It was just amazing.
And Jonathan, your knee-jerk reaction?
Quite similar to John, I'd say. I think we need to use more 3 tight end personnel. I think just gives the quarterback more of a safety blanket. I thought it was some good a few exotic plays there that weren't completely outrageous, like the quick screen out wide to Ty Felton. I think we need to use his speed more, and who knows, we might have to next year. And then also I think we had a nice pitch to Jalen Naylor. We got some fast receivers, and I don't feel like we use them enough. I don't watch the Vikings and feel like, oh, we use speed on offense or defense. And the defense has had quite a lot of deficiencies this year, but I wouldn't say that's why we have a 5-8 record. It's more to do with our offense. Yeah, I mean, the tackling has been really, really poor, but yeah, I'd say that yesterday's game was sort of the blueprint of what 2025 should have been. And it's unfortunate it's come 13 weeks into the season, but a good win nonetheless.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's the blueprint. It's where we should have been. We should have been looking to tight ends, running backs earlier in the season. Of course, you got a quarterback calling the plays. He's going to want to throw the ball. Also, I think everyone was sold on JJ McCarthy since week one of season one preseason. I think everyone believed in him, and we threw a lot. Or made him, do probably more than he was capable of, and we found out the hard way. But my knee-jerk reaction was it felt very 2019 Vikings, where when we play a bad team, we would absolutely just decapitate them. And it felt very much like that. It reminded me of a game where we had Kirk under center. I think he threw 10 times against the Atlanta Falcons in one game, and we won the game comfortably. I mean, JJ McCarthy throwing for 160 yards. He's not touched 200 yards yet in his career. I don't think he ever will need to if we play like that. I'm happy for him to be spreading the ball about, throwing for 160 yards. As much as he's destroying me with Jefferson in fantasy, I can't complain too much because it's just good to see the kid growing. And so, yeah, I'm just overall happy, which is a nice change this season.
Yeah, definitely was a nice change up watching that game yesterday.
Welcome one as well, because I think that was just this season's been brutal. There's no other way of saying it. It's been want to turn your TV off early, brutal, which is going a long way, especially with all the hype, all the primetime games, and the fact that we get up and 4 in the morning, we're still there watching what that was against the Chargers. We deserve times like this. Although it was harder to watch this week with the zone, but I'm glad that John, you got your meet up. Jonathan, by the sounds of how active you were as always on our socials during game day, you got a good view of the game. But I guess that gives us a chance now to come to boy done good, boy done bad. And John, I'm going to come to you first.
Yep, fair. So my boy done good was where is it? I'm going to start with my boy done bad because it's a bit of an obscure one. My one here. I've gone with Michael Hutchinson. Michael Hutchins, our tackling coach, because don't seem to be doing your job there, Michael. Because it's been a consistent thing all season. Just not being able to wrap people up properly. No one on our defense does seem to be able to wrap anyone up properly. It's just even with 3 or 4 of them on people, the offense the person seems to get away. It's just come on, it's just wrap these people up properly, put them to the ground. It's your job to make sure these defenders are doing it. I mean, they're pros; they should know how to do it, but it's your job, Michael, to get people to do that. So yeah, he's my boy done bad.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know we had a tackling coach. That's how bad the tackling's been this season.
Yeah.
Oh, dear, I honestly I thought when we were watching the game, I was thinking, oh goodness, here we go again. Tight end breaking 4 tackles and getting into a goal to go situation. It's going to be another one of those weeks, and then everything changed, didn't it, John? And I guess we should probably go to boy done good now because it's all going to be quite positive now going forward, which is unusual.
Yeah, my boy done good this week was Harrison Smith. I mean, he was absolutely everywhere yesterday. It was just for a man of his age I mean, you saw when he picked that ball off, he was like, he started to run in. He was like, no, I don't want to run. I'm not going to run it all the way down there and try and get an extra couple of
Looking for
yards.
someone to pitch the ball to.
It is not worth my effort doing that. I've got the ball. We've got the ball. I'm just gonna run down. I'm just gonna take the knee here on the floor, and but yeah, he was absolutely everywhere, breaking up balls and everything like that last night. Yeah, he really, it was one of his best games this season.
Yeah, he was used expertly as well by Flores. This week was the week where we saw Flores throwing a lot of different talent, and whilst we got to see a lot of Tynger and Dawkins, which was nice, seeing Harrison Smith utilised more in the blitz at the line of scrimmage, really confusing Jaden Daniels, who just had a horrific game.
He
Probably
should,
shouldn't have
if
even been out there.
yeah, I was going to say, if I was a Washington fan, I'd be questioning why he was even out there. We all know he's a good QB. We've seen him play last year. You don't need you're a 3-win season. You're not going to the Super Bowl. You keep him safe.
Jonathan, you got anything to add on the woes of Jaden Daniels and the Harrison Smith legacy?
I think it's just a reminder that in any given week in the NFL, any quarterback can have a bad game, any quarterback can have a good game. Because you look at the quarterback ratings, some people like that stat, some don't. But Jaden Daniels had a similar quarterback rating to Max Brosmer last week. But we all know that Jaden Daniels is, as John said, is one you got to wrap up in the wall. And on Harrison, I'd probably add that the post-match interview gave was really good. I think it's just a reminder that just how much these guys love playing in the league, even when it gets tough. But also, it kind of felt a bit poignant. I don't want to tempt fate, but I'd probably say we're probably heading into his last 4 games as a professional. But yeah, just a superb player. Really enjoyed watching him over the years.
Yeah, and all way ahead of schedule here tonight. So I'll ask the question. I'll come to you first, John, even though I know you're going to be very biased on this. Hall of Fame candidate?
You know what? In my heart, he is. In my head, he's not. He's not a He's not a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of very, very good. But I don't think outside of Minnesota he's got the respect he deserves or should get to be getting the Hall of Fame.
Is it coming down to playing for a quote small market team?
Yeah, it's a small market team, and he's only ever played for us, so it's only Minnesota fans that respect him that highly.
I think in the fan bases, you're right. I think around the league, he's highly respected. Opposition quarterbacks are always looking for where 22 is, because they know that that's the guy who's going to ruin their game. He is just, in my mind, he's a Hall of Famer. I feel like he's done enough in his career. I think is he now the league? Is he the leading player now in of current players of interceptions? I'm not sure. But 48 up now.
38. 38.
Is it 38? I thought it was 48.
38, mate. Yeah. Not 48, mate. No.
I was going to say. I thought it was 48. No, 38. Damn it. Well, I think highly of him. I'll give him 10 extra. Maybe you'll get 10 extra in the last 4 games. We are playing the Giants, so might be a chance of upping those numbers still. Jonathan, Hall of Famer in your eyes?
I would say that his achievements as an individual certainly merit that. If you compare him to, I don't know, say Troy Polamalu, they're very similar. It's just purely team achievements that are lacking. I think if we'd have gone on won the Super Bowl in 2017 with Case Keenum, I think certainly that was his best year, but our defense best year back then. But I think certainly there wouldn't be a debate. But I mean, amongst the players, even now, in a diminished version, there's still huge respect. That he'll undercut any routes. Look, I mean, and on his interceptions, if I'm right, I think Kevin Byard has more interceptions, but I think he's second in active players.
Okay. Well, Shows what I know. I just love Harrison Smith, and I will put him at the top of the mountain if I can. Ring of Honor for sure, if not Hall of Fame, if he does decide to call it a quits. Because let's face it, he's probably not going to tell anyone. That's just the way he is. I mean, he could, if we're out in playoff contention week 18, he could say, "Oh, it's my last game." The stadium would be full, and he'd get a big send off. But he's quite a quiet individual, so he'd probably just not tell anyone just to avoid the attention. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not ready to say goodbye to the Hitman just yet. Jonathan, let's come to your boy done good, shall we?
Yeah, my boy done good is JJ McCarthy. I don't think he did anything extra special, but it's just a good reminder that he's able to run an offense. It was quite like the Michigan offense he ran at college, and there were some good throws. But most importantly for me, I'd say there were no turnovers, because it allowed our defense to stay fresh. It didn't have to give up any short fields either. And also, I thought that the one step back and they throw out to Addison is probably his best throw on the corner. And I think we're seeing that. I think he's progressing slightly better. And this is only his seventh game in the league, so I think we've got to be careful of our expectations, but I don't think it was unfair to demand slightly more than what we'd seen in the last few weeks. But it's just a good reminder that he is a NFL serviceable quarterback, which is all we really needed this year. So it's just a good reminder that he's capable.
Yeah, capable for sure. I think everyone was going about fundamentals of JJ McCarthy. Oh, he's not doing the right thing with his feet. His feet, when he's taking his step, he's drop backs, he's moving his feet too fast. I don't care what's going on with his feet. As long as his feet are in the right position when he's throwing the football like they were last night, he's shown that he can be an accurate quarterback. Yes, there are some issues with accuracy. He does still zip the ball and make it a little bit hard for some guys to catch. And on the out routes, which, probably his best game on the out routes last night, there was one that could have been picked off to TJ Hawkinson. So he's got to be careful on telegraphing throws, and also don't be scared to throw to Justin Jefferson. I mean, there was a nice 13-yard scramble, and I like that he was being conservative given how many times he's turned the ball over this season. But he had Jefferson on a wide open for a touchdown off the double move, and he's just got to trust that the play will develop. A small criticism on what was a very good day. John, your thoughts on JJ McCarthy's evening or afternoon?
Yeah,
I think is time distance.
Yeah, I mean, he just played exactly to his skill set. I mean, that's exactly what we wanted from him at the beginning of the season. I mean, it summed up at that 19 play drive for 98 yards for nearly over 12 minutes. That's the longest drive in the NFL for the last 4 years, and the longest drive for the Vikings for over 25 years. He just it's just methodical. He was just right, go, 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 and that's all we need. We don't need a big. We've got superstars elsewhere on the team. We've got superstars at wide receiver. We've got superstars on defense. We don't need a big showy offy quarterback. You just need to be consistent and do it methodically. But yeah, it was absolutely super impressive from him yesterday. I mean, that first touchdown, our first touchdown in 23 possessions yesterday. We definitely celebrated. We definitely celebrated that at the curb yesterday. We even had the staff at the curb singing the Vikings fight song by the end of the evening. They were singing along with us, and the bouncers and everyone were all singing along with us.
It was a decisive touchdown throw as well. I thought, it was a case of I know where this is going, and like it was shot out of a cannon straight into the hands of Josh Oliver, who, 2-touchdown day for Josh Oliver, who had that on their bingo card after the last few weeks. Josh Oliver with as many touchdown receptions as Justin Jefferson had catches. Jefferson, of course, doing his best to stay on the field. That was noted in Kevin O'Connell's post-game press conference, where he said himself, Kim McCardle, Wes Phillips, everyone keeping an eye on Justin Jefferson where he is, and even having security getting involved to stop him from going onto the field despite his best efforts. Is there any concern that it's just 11 yards and 2 catches this week, and then last week 4 yards off of 2 catches again? Is there a reason to be concerned, or is it just one of those things of where the teams just guard Justin Jefferson and leave everyone else open? I'll come to Jonathan on that one, I guess.
I would say, yeah, there is some concern because I don't think that we're doing a good enough job of getting him open on easy routes. Because I mean, there were multiple times yesterday when Jefferson was wide open, way down the field, but McCarthy, I think he's trying to protect himself more, and he's trying to avoid hits. So maybe not staying in the pocket as long as he should. I feel that we could throw some more quick screens to him, more slants. I mean, we hardly throw any slants, but we pay this guy a lot of money. I would say he's the best receiver in the league. We just got to get him involved. We need to use him more like Cincinnati use Jamar Chase. We need to feed him 15 times a game. He is the best player. He is our best player on offense, so you kind of need to use him.
John, you got anything to add?
I don't know. Are they protecting him? Are they saying, look, our season is done. We want to see how this rookie quarterback works out. Do we want to make sure that Jefferson doesn't pick up a serious injury that's going to put him out for next season, where we might be able to be better? Maybe that's why they're being so conservative with using Justin Jefferson at the moment. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here.
It's not a bad theory at all.
That might be why they're just trying to keep him a bit wrapped up in cotton wool, because he is probably the best non-QB in the league as far as I'm concerned.
And I think to a degree you're 100% correct in the sense of protecting him, because we saw a lot of different players out there last night. I think you get 46 active on game day. I'm pretty sure all 46 saw the field at some point outside of special teams. Ben Sims with a catch, Xavier Scott getting out there, Ty Felton. Like Jonathan said earlier, we want to get the ball in his hands more and see what we've got there. And defense as well. Just everyone out there. I think Jay Ward out there playing outside corner at the start of the game. Isaiah Rodgers, of course, then coming into the game more as it went on. Excuse me. But yeah, I think especially when you look at what can happen in meaningless games. Washington on the flip side, Jaden Daniels elbow again, and I mean Zach Ertz. You hate to see it because that's probably his last involvement on an NFL field, is going off injured on a nasty hit.
It was just one of those unlucky hits, really, wasn't it? It wasn't really a dirty hit, I don't think. But
no, it's a guy who's 6'4" jumping up in the air, and a guy who's 5'10" inadvertently just you can't hit a tight end high. That's the thing. You just can't. You just bounce off them, so you hit them lower, and it was a rough one to watch. But Jonathan, I mean, you've got to pick a boy done bad. So who is it?
My boy done bad is Kevin O'Connell. Not really for today, more just we should have seen this on week 1. We drafted McCarthy and thinking that he'd just drive the ship. We'd have a good running game, good short intermediate passing game, and obviously our defense. And we could rely on all those things and just hope McCarthy made 3 or 4 throws a game. And that's kind of what we saw yesterday. So I just say that it took him far too long to make the scheme simpler and take the load off McCarthy. But that also gave him more chances. The teams were having to cover different type of plays. using different personnels. So gave us more opportunities to then go back to what we really want to do, which is, the passing over the middle and deep. So yeah, I think I've been disappointed with KOC's calling. I mean, pretty much his whole sort of tenure as the head coach. I think he's been a superb head coach, but I thought it was good to finally see, a change. But my criticism, it should have been 12 weeks ago, I'd say.
John, your thoughts on Kevin O'Connell's game last night?
Well, game last night was absolutely perfect, but as Jonathan said, that's not where he's coming from. He's coming from this should have been implemented from week one. Should have been his game plan from week one, but that's not the way Kevin O'Connell's going to do things. My major gripe with Kevin O'Connell is he can't adjust during games. He can't adjust. I can't think of one instant when he's adjusted his game plan to suit the game. He just has one game plan and it's throw it. We all scream, run the damn ball, Kevin. But yeah, I can't argue. I love him as a head coach, absolutely love him. But as I've been saying for nearly 3 years now, sometimes he just gets too smart with his play calling, and so he needs his play calling taken away from him.
Oh, goodness, this play calling taken away. It's never going to happen.
I know it's not going to happen.
Never going to happen. You'll be prying that playbook out of his cold dead hands. It will never happen. But yeah, I mean, I could talk about Kevin O'Connell on the back of John, and I will as my boy done good, because as coaching goes, as a head coach, and I include the umbrella of his coordinates below him here. That's as good a game as you're going to see. Great rotation, exceptional long drive. I mean, like what, longest in 25 years in the franchise? Just ridiculous. 98 yards, 19 plays. And, he listened. He finally listened. The Vikings fans all over the world said it loud enough in unison, and he finally heard, run the damn ball. And he ran the damn ball because it made and run it effectively, split the backs properly. CJ Ham was getting in there and blocking for run plays and not just on third and long. A wonderful thing to see. Jordan Mason, I think, continues to look better and better, and could be a future back for us long term, because of course Aaron Jones is getting older, but he looked fresh yesterday as well. He looked great. I really like the play calling. The running of the ball was great. The play design was fantastic. Like we say, there was Jefferson wide open downfield several times, but there's also someone underneath. It wasn't like Jefferson was wide open downfield and McCarthy was holding onto the ball too long and getting sacked. It was a case of McCarthy's going, oh, screw it. TJ Hawkinson's there for 12 yards. I'll take that. And keeping the things moving. And you can see everyone's talked about paring down the last few weeks, and I don't think this was the first game. I think we saw it as well against the Packers, because we could have won that game by kicking had it not been a complete disaster. So I'm on board. I think KOC's taken steps in the right direction, but next week is going to be crucial, because the Cowboys are probably going to lean heavily on defending underneath and are going to try and make us go over the top. And that's going to be really interesting to see how this week goes in practice. But if it comes to my boy done bad, I am not someone who splashed out for the zone this season. One being we're on Sky and Channel 5 every other week, and two being I just don't get the service. It just hasn't been good enough. And the fact that the Vikings games are always blacked out on there as they were going to be, or free to watch somewhere else, or through Sky, which I have, so I didn't need to worry about paying for the zone. But this was a weird one for me. I had to watch the game through Red Zone and a little bit of Bet365. Thank you to people at Bet365. That's a genius way to watch the game on your phone if you're ever out and about. But gamble responsibly. But yeah, Red Zone, the amount of times I was like, my phone would be like, okay, Vikings in the Red Zone. And I'd be like, come on, Scott, put it on the telly. And no, we're watching like the Bengals game in 3rd and long from the 50-yard line, and then I think it was the second Josh Oliver touchdown. They sort of missed it, and it was like, oh yeah, we had to come back because of the Vikings touchdown, and we were the only team in the red zone at that point. I mean, your NFL red zone show the games in the red zone, even if it is between two teams that are fighting over the number 10 draft pick, as it seems to be for next season. I don't know, it's a small criticism there because there wasn't much to criticize this week, so I had to find something. But other than that, yeah, there is nothing to complain about this week.
Yeah, I get that. I get that with red zone. So sometimes, yeah. I mean, luckily enough, I only bought the zone halfway through the season. I think I bought it about week. I think it might have been about week 10, maybe about week 8. Me and Rich decided to split the cost because you can have 2 devices on it for 50 quid in 2 different locations. So we decided to split the cost of and pay 25 quid for the entire season. And
Yeah, but for 50 quid, unbelievable. I mean, I looked at it and it was like £90. I'm like, I ain't paying 90 quid.
no,
£90.
yeah, no, this was 5 devices in 2 different locations for 50 quid. I was just like, me and Rich were like, yeah, we'll have about that. Split the costs.
Yeah, that's all right, 25 quid, but no, not the £90. I mean, that's the thing. They're offering these discounts out to people. You know what you can sell it for. Just give it to people for a reasonable price. It doesn't need to be, you don't have to pay a mortgage. If you can get Netflix for £5 a month and, be entertained every night of the week, don't make me have to pay $19.99 a month to watch my team play maybe twice.
Don't worry. We're on Netflix soon, Reece.
We're on Netflix soon, so yep, another one. I'm not having to pay for that one.
2 weeks time.
And you never know, maybe we might sneak back onto TV because the Cowboys are in the playoff hunt and the Vikings actually played well last week. But yeah, I mean, I guess we should probably talk.
That's a late night game, isn't it? It's not.
Yeah, Sunday night. Yeah, Sunday night
game.
football.
It's Sunday night football, mate.
Time to ruin my sleep pattern in the name of depression, apparently. I guess shall we talk about Sunday night and specifically, I guess we should probably preview this game that's coming up. What are the keys to victory this week, Jonathan? I'm going to come to you first.
I would say on the defensive side, it would be getting pressure to Dak, but also there's a big focus on tackling and coverage because obviously you got CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, and Jake Ferguson. It might be a good game for Isaiah Rodgers to have a go at Jake Ferguson punching the ball out because he seems to be quite susceptible suspect at ball security. But yeah, I think on offense, it's got to be running the ball or having good short passing game to if we can't run the ball because the Cowboys defense has improved, to be fair, since they traded for Quinn and Williams. They seem to be stopping the run now. Still an awful pass defense. I think we can pass on them, but again, I think it'll be a good yardstick to see how much we can put on McCarthy's plate while still, trying to implement a game plan like yesterday. But again, I think it's a good. I don't think it's a bad team to be facing on defense. For McCarthy, defensively. Speaking for the Cowboys, because they are one of the worst defenses in the league with the pass, just as like the Giants are and the Lions are. So I think we do have a soft enough schedule here where we can see, if McCarthy is improving, especially against opponents that we've already played once this season coming up, we can, sort of see if he's improved at all, comparing his performances. But yeah, I think it'll be quite tough, but I think it sort of depends on how the offense goes, because I do trust our defense if they have, any rest. If they don't, and I think it could be a bit of a blowout. But
that's it. The rest is key, and really interesting to see how McCarthy has developed. You make a good point about his games late in the season. and the fact that we're playing three pretty crap defenses on the run in. John, what are your keys to victory this weekend?
I think Jonathan hit pretty much everything that I was going to talk about. Nail on the head there, really. Yeah, it's just about getting the pressure up front with the defense, because that O line for the Cowboys it's not as good as it used to be. It used to be one of the best in the league, but they're definitely suspect. But Dak is one of the best QBs, and I reckon probably one of the most underrated QBs in the league. Everyone thinks he's bang average. I don't think he's bang average at all. I think he's well above average, and quite frankly, he's dragging trying to drag that team to the playoffs. But yeah, they've got good weapons out there. But for me, it's about getting the pressure up front on the defense to make sure that ball doesn't get out to those receivers. That's the key to the game for me.
Yeah, you make a good point about Dak. He is underrated. For me, I compare Dak Prescott to Kirk Cousins, but specifically in October, because he's, Dak Prescott can just carve a team up, and I think everyone goes, "Oh yeah, his career stats aren't that high." If you look at his career stats, the reason for that is because he's had a couple of very nasty injuries that have kept him off the field for large parts of seasons. I mean, I've happily bought him in to spare me on a couple of weeks with fancy QBs. However, I did that on the week he scored 9 points, and ever since removing him, he's been much better. For me, the keys to victory, stuffing the Cowboys up the middle is important. Can't allow that pressure up the middle. If JJ McCarthy doesn't get hit quick, he will keep his head, because I've noticed with McCarthy, like most quarterbacks, you hit them, everything speeds up. Even the calm, level-headed Max Brosma, who looked absolutely fine for the first two drives, as soon as he got pounded a couple of times, turned into, well, I don't even know what he turned into, but it was something that hadn't ever been done before, as far as I'm aware. I think the last guy to have his stats line was blind in one eye, and I'm not making that up. But the other thing I hit on earlier, make the Cowboys respect the deep game. We've shown a lot underneath on offense. You need to throw a few deep balls to stretch that field out, because if you don't do that, they're just going to tee off. They're going to cover you underneath, and you give you like a child on Madden who can only hit a 5-yard slant, which we don't want to look like that, because that would be very frustrating. If I come now to score predictions, Jonathan, I'll come to you first, because I know you have your prediction already written down, and John's probably still thinking about his.
Yeah, I went for Vikings 20, Cowboys 37. Yeah, I just see it being quite a long one. As I said, we've got to stop. If the pass rush doesn't get home, I don't have any confidence at all on the back end, coverage wise. But again, I think this is more going to be to do with offensive deficiencies, just the defense being absolutely knackered, and giving up a lot of points in the fourth quarter. But yeah, I mean, I just hope McCarthy has a good game, because win or lose, I guess the main thing to gain out of these games is to see whether McCarthy is, not NFL ready, but what type of quarterback we need to bring in next year. Whether is it a backup? Is it someone to compete with him? So I think that's more what I'm looking to see out of the game.
And John, your score prediction, is it any more optimistic? I hope.
It's not, unfortunately. I'm going 13 Vikings, 24 Cowboys.
Yikes! Any reason?
Well, it's just I think it's just going to be one of those games. It's just not going to work out for us.
Is it the come down game?
Yeah, it's a come down game, because let's face it, after a big game, the Vikings always have a wet squid the next game. We all know it. We all know it.
Yeah, let's not brown the bed this week. I really hope. However, I kind of do share your pessimism in a way. I've got us 26-27 losers in this one. A tight game, But if there's one thing I've learned from watching the Vikings and Cowboys this season, it's that if you get to the midfield logo, these kickers will score points. So this could be very, very kick heavy this game. And so I just feel like it could just come down to a point here or there on who got one touchdown and the other person had to cut, kick a couple of field goals. But put Rijkaard in your fantasy team, put Albury in your fantasy team if you haven't got a kicker, and either of those are somehow knocking about still. I reckon it could be a lot of kicking, but point scoring kicking rather than the other kicking we've seen a lot of in Vikings games recently with punting. I don't really know. I think we've covered everything, which is strange. It's amazing. There's not much to talk about when the team's good, which is maybe a curse for us, but a blessing to be able to sit down and have Vikings therapy where it's not stressful, depressing, and I'm not wanting to scream about every single coach and player and how they're overpaid, not good enough. So it's a nice change of pace this week. I guess one thing we can say is the Purple Pedal is still open. And there is an interview with John on our socials after we rewarded Fan Club of the Month for October. And, John receiving that. And, it might still be on our socials when you have a look. But Mr. McDonald trying to eat a Christmas decoration. I'm sure we'll put that somewhere. Oh, John is showing us the award. There we go. Yeah, it wasn't going to be far away.
Yeah. The Vikings, they gave us this Fan Club of the Month for October, and they gave us this ball, custom made Wilson ball, NFL. It's amazing.
One that's probably not going to come out of the box to play catch with that one.
No,
probably a fine piece to be displayed, and a well done achievement. And with the pedal donations are still available to be made for that one. That's justgiving.com/page/the purple pedal. Guess I'll give you the spiel because we've got time this week. You found us, so I don't really need to tell you the spiel. You found us on Spotify, you found us on Apple. What I want to say is please do rate, comment, subscribe if you are not subscribed on YouTube or following the podcast. Just anything you can do to say, hey, I listen, really does help us out. It helps put us out there. It helps us get this out to more people. It helps us have more of a platform. So when people like John decide to cycle from one country to another to raise money for charity, that more people see it. And the club is completely non-profit. What goes into the club goes back into the fan base in the UK and Ireland, and charitable donations as well. So we hope you can help us out by liking, subscribing, and all those things. And if you do want to get in touch, you can do so. You can email the podcast, ukvikespod@gmail.com. That's ukvikespod@gmail.com. Instagram and X and anything else you can think to message us on Facebook. There is a link in the bio of the podcast. There's a link in the bio of all the channels. And with that, I guess all there is left to say is goodbye, gentlemen. So say goodbye, gentlemen.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
Cheers. Ta-ra.
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 Ta-ra.